Right, so in today's video we're going to be finally doing something about the border along this fence and along the lawn, because if you've been around on this channel for a while you'll know that this space has looked a bit of an eyesore now for the past few summers. Weeds start to grow, grass starts to grow really tall, and the entire space starts to look horrendous. You might notice as well, this side has been killed off. That is the doing of the council, and don't worry, I've been in touch with them because I'm, let's say, not too pleased that I was looking at the moment. However, the one benefit they actually did do was kill this entire strip from the neighbour's side all the way along here, and even on the far side over there. So they've killed off these spaces, and what we're going to be doing in today's video is putting some nice planters all the way along. We're going to be making them ourselves, filling them with some nice bedding plants and just adding a bit of a splash of colour to the front of the house. So less waffling, let's get into the garden, let's get the soil, let's get the wood, let's start making the planters. So the aim is to make 5 planters to fit out there at the front, and they're not going to be massive, they're not going to fill the entire space between the bars. We're going to kind of have one planter, then we'll have a space, and then another one. So I'm going to make them roughly 80 centimetres long, or 800 mil. So I need 2 pieces that size for each planter. Just using this square just to make sure everything is absolutely spot on. Measure again, 80. Happy with that. So I'm going to make the first cut before I mark out the next piece, because obviously you've got to take into account the actual width of the blade too. Now this ain't no expert carpenter channel, you're going to see some rough work on the go here, so I'm just going to use the edge of this just to keep it balanced somewhat, and I'll just have to kind of manoeuvre the circular saw a little bit more. So because the width of the blade, you want to make sure that you're not cutting with the blade sort of directly over the centre of your line. You want it to almost be right on the edge of your line, because that way you get a much more accurate cut to exactly where you want it to be. So you want to just make sure, bring it in now to show you exactly what I mean. You can see that the blade sits or runs along just right next to that line. You could possibly get a tad closer, but it's not right over the centre of it. So there we go. We've got 10 of these now, which are 80 centimetres, and these last 2 are about 79.5, because we lost a little bit of material through sawdust from making the cuts, but these are half a centimetre shorter than these other little cool cats. And really, when we put the planters at the front of the house, is anyone even going to notice? Absolutely not. So that's going to make our 6th planter. For each one, we're going to need 6 pieces of wood, which are going to be cut at 20 centimetres or 200 mil. So they're going to be relatively small. However, rather than cutting them along this massive piece of 4.8 metre timber, I'm going to cut it roughly in half. It'll just mean that the timber is a little bit easier to work with. So now I just have 2 much smaller pieces of timber to cut down to size. So always just double check your measurements. Check you're definitely happy, because if you're a tiny bit out, you can kind of adjust whereabouts the cutting blade needs to be when you cut your piece of timber. There we go. Perfect 20 centimetre piece. So I need 6 of these for each of the planters. This bit's going to take a while, so let's get another time lapse on to get the rest of these cut. So now that we've got everything cut for the planters, each planter is going to need 2 of these longer pieces of 80, and it's going to need 6 pieces that we cut at 20. 2 of them are going to be the side pieces, and these 4 are going to run along the bottom. And in the end, it's like a heart attack, this, isn't it? You should end up with something a little bit like this, where you've got the 2 80s, these are the 79.5s from earlier, by the way. You've got the 2 20s at the end. They're slotted in the middle rather than at the very end, because that way it just makes the bed a little bit wider. And then we've got 4 going along the bottom, and the reason why I've done it like this is because we've got 4 spaces here which can almost act a little like drainage holes, just so that water doesn't sit in there for too long. It's obviously going to retain the moisture, that's what we want it to do, but it's not just going to end up like a bit of a swamp or a little bit of a mini swimming pool for the bedding plants. The moisture can escape. The first thing you're going to want to do is mark out exactly where all your holes are going to be, and with these end pieces, they're about 22 millimeters, give or take. So you want to sort of fit somewhere within the middle of there. So we want to make a mark at roughly 1.1 centimeter. If it's 1 centimeter, 10 mil, you'd be absolutely fine. No one's going to die at that point. So I'm just going to make a rough mark at those points. Then I'm going to take my square, because I want these end pieces to be nice and square, obviously. Just run a rough line down there like that. And then, rather than going with those dots that I currently have, because they're not, you know, evenly spaced out, I'm going to measure it out. So this is exactly 15 centimeters. At 3 centimeters, I'm going to make a mark. And at 12 centimeters, I'm going to make a mark as well, which means that each of those holes will be 3 centimeters from either side. So I'm going to flip the piece of wood round, do exactly the same thing on this side. And before we do the same to the next piece of wood, what I want to do, as you might be able to see the markings down here already, is mark out where the holes are going to be for these 4 pieces to sit up against the wood like that. So if you do take your tape measure and you've got an 80 centimeter piece, then I've made my markings at 7 centimeters, 18 centimeters, 25, 36, 44, 55, 62 and 73, and that's roughly 2 centimeters in on either side of these, give or take. And also it allows for a bit of space on the end there, so we end up with drainage holes on either end. And just made sure I was around about 10 mil or 1 centimeter from the very bottom of the planter. I didn't make that super precise because no one is going to die. I can just eyeball a centimeter, that'll be fine. Now I'm just going to do this exact same thing to the other piece of wood as well. There we go, we've got a marked out, haven't we, Fred, on that other side. And this is where now, you know, you can make yourself a little makeshift table using the pieces of wood that you already have. Just make sure I've got a bit of an overhang. The screws that I'm going with are 60 mil long and 5 mil wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wood drill bit at 5 mil. I'm just going to drill through this piece. That means that the screws will more easily go through this piece of wood, and this end can then actually bite into the piece of wood we're screwing it to, making sure we've got a really decent connection with both pieces of wood without any gaps. So time to drill these pilot holes. There we go. Now what I would recommend doing if I was you, and this is exactly what I'm going to do now, is rather than putting this planter together, I'm going to do the exact same thing with the rest of the pieces of wood, so that I can keep this makeshift workbench that we've got. And then once we've done that, we can then get to screwing them all together. So let's get a podcast in. For reference, by the way, the podcast I'm listening to is The Late Challenge. If you're not a Liverpool fan or a sport fan, you might not be into it. But if you are, if you're a Scouser, you're into Liverpool, or just into, some people sometimes talk about nonsense, it's well worth a listen. So yeah, let's put it in my ears and let's get to drilling all these holes. So the next thing we're going to do is actually screw all of these pieces together. So we're going to start with the 2 end pieces. I'm going to put a piece of wood under this just to balance it out ever so slightly, which means this end part can just rest nicely on here. And like I said before, these are 5 mil by 60 mil. They're the exact screws, in case anyone is wondering, by the way. And then you're just going to make sure everything's nice and square and lovely. Get the screw in and just go nice and slow. Get nice and tight. Make sure the other end's square before you go in with your screw. There we go. Flip it round. There we go. Lovely stuff. So that's one side done. And what I learned from building that practice one there is that if I put the other end onto this now, it becomes a little bit difficult to sometimes slot these in because the fit is quite snug. So what I'm going to do is screw these in first, get these looking nice and flush. And then that way, when we put the other piece on, it's just a case of drilling all the screws through nice and straightforward. So if I just spin this round this way, take one of these pieces, I can place it underneath here. I'm just going to line it up roughly. I'm not going to have this perfect because, I mean, you can, but no one's going to see this part. So as long as it's roughly where I want it to be, it doesn't need to be like millimetre perfect. No one is going to die if it isn't. There we go. All those screws are in. On that side, I'm going to flip it over, take one of these pieces, and nice and simple now, it just fit over the top like so. I'm going to do the two end ones first just to make sure I keep everything nice and square. And I'll do these ones across the middle, so we'll get that nice and flush with that side. Now what we're going to do is, this piece is being a little bit stubborn, so I can just tilt it over on that side here, press down with my wrist ever so slightly, get nice and square there, and that way we can get it screwed in without anything protruding down the bottom. Lovely stuff. Don't pinch your hand in between, just got to be really careful with it. And flip it over to this side slightly. These will be sat on stones, so it doesn't have to be completely and utterly perfect. And there we go, as easy as that. We have the planter nice and straightforward and simple now. This isn't the only thing we're doing to this to prepare it for going out to the front. What the next step is for this, we've got another 4 to make, so that's 2 in the bag so far. Let's make the other 4. Let's get the podcast back in, crack straight on. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is just paint the inside with a bit of this. It's bitumen black paint, and what it'll do is it'll make the inside much more waterproof. Even though this is pressure treated timber, it's going to give it that extra bit of protection just to make sure it lasts a little bit longer. So I'm just going to go all around the insides, on the bottom, just a little light coat. It doesn't have to be anything major. If you don't use this, you're not going to die. It's still going to be pretty, you know, weatherproof, with it being treated timber, to make sure, you know, it can last the test of time. So yeah, let's get straight to it. So it's been around about 24 hours now and the bitumen has dried up. So the last thing we're going to do is just measure out some of this membrane to go into the planter. Again, it's just that additional protection really. And also because we have those big gaps in the bottom of the planter, I mean that all the soil doesn't just fall out when we pot them on the potting bench and carry them out to the front. So it needs to be roughly 102 centimetres by 46 centimetres. Okay, so installing this is the bit that can be a little bit tricky, I guess you'd say. Just going to kind of roughly line up sort of halfway. I'm just going to press it down on one side to begin with, because what I want to do is kind of get the top of this liner almost as level with this side as I can, roughly. And then I've got a staple gun just to staple that part in place. For now, I'll do the same a bit further up on here, just to roughly, let's not dispense the staple, that's not either, it's not dispensing them, it needs more staples. There's another one up here, and another one just tucked in on this side as well. There we go, lovely. Now that'll do just to hold that part in place for the moment. Then I'm going to kind of fold these. It's almost like wrapping a Christmas present, this, in a sort of weird way. So I'm going to get that right into the the corner as so, like that. Again, just fiddle around with it, get the folds in the corner the way you want it to be. You can tuck it like that. Get a staple gun, just knock a staple in, hold it in place for now. The same on the other side. Doesn't have to be perfect. We'll tidy it up in a moment. There we go. Knock that in there just to hold it there for now. Check that we're okay all the way along. And then I'm going to put some just rough staples in it for the time being to hold it roughly where it is. And then this far side, I want to do what I did over there as well. Now I know someone's going to comment with an expert way of doing this, but it's a novice gardener channel. This is a channel where we just figure out how to do things ourselves, find a nice efficient way and just stick with it. Now it's a little bit baggier on the bottom than the example one I've just made before, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is just take the knife and I'm going to cut off this excess and just try and get it as level as I can with the top part of the wood. And the liner is now where we want it to be. All I'm going to do just to finish off is to just tip it on its side as so. Knock a load more staples in just to make sure this liner isn't going anywhere. And then just to finish off, we want some drainage holes in this. We've left those spaces down at the bottom, so all I'm going to do is just cut a few slits into the bottom of the liner, and I'm going to cut them just roughly. They don't have to be perfect. I've cut that one maybe a little bit too far. No one's going to die. You can see the little holes here. We'll do 2 more there, 2 more, cut some holes in the end, and then job will be here good. And so I think once I've done this one, I'm going to do the same as the Jeste. Get the hard podcast in again and just crack on. So time for the best bit then, and that's getting a bit of compost in these and starting to fill them with some bedding plants. So we bought quite a few different things, got a big tray, these fellas over there, loads of different stuff. We've tried to go with lots of different colours just to give the space a nice sort of splash of colour at the front, because it's kind of just green and black at the moment with that fence and the bush. So I'm not going to waffle too much in this part. Let's just get a time lapse on. Let's fill these and they'll be looking boss. Right, so there we go. All the planters have been put down. We've gone with bark instead of going with stones. The stones might have added a bit of a nice contrast between sort of the grass and the road and the wood, but I thought with the rest of the space originally having bark and the sun down there, it kind of fits in a little bit better with the streets. And all these plants are really small now, but let's just give them the next few weeks, a month or so, and they'll start getting bigger. They'll add a little bit of colour to the space, and finally, if we just pan around now, the front of the house is going to start looking really nice. We've seeded this space recently. We're waiting for the new seed to come through. These little cool cats will start to do their thing over the next few weeks, and yeah, jobs are good. And so if you have enjoyed today's video or found it useful at all, consider giving the video a like. If you want to follow along with more gardening videos like this, or anything to do with lawn care or just general renovation stuff, then consider subscribing if you haven't already. As always, the Instagram is in the description below. The TikTok channel is Novice Gardener Official. And yeah, finally, thanks for watching.